how do you get remembered? And you need both, right? You need a unique positioning so that you give like rational, compelling reasons, but you also need the distinctiveness, which is there to make people notice you for reasons that are quite frankly sometimes just weird, but that's the point. So, and then once you have that, you want to reach as many of those people as possible within your means, including uh, telling stories and reaching people through ads or search engine and finding your affiliate website and stuff like that.
I'm John Wright, and you're listening to Affiliate BI, the business intelligence and affiliate marketing podcast brought to you by Snapstrap. Welcome to the Affiliate BI podcast. Today we're chatting with Louis Grenier, who's a recovering Frenchman, who's the author of Stand the Fuck Out, which is a genius marketing book. Happen to have it right here. It's about branding and positioning, and he was previously I think it's the content and product marketer at Hotjar, which is an amazing CRO tool. And after a few years, he's also been the host of Everyone Hates Marketing podcast. Louis, welcome to the show.
Bonjour, bonjour. And merci very much for your invitation. Let's do
Thank,
this.
thank you. So, if you came over to my flat and you had to go to the bathroom for maybe number two, would you have those fragrance packets with you just in case you needed them?
No, I like to raw dog it. I like to keep it real. So what you see is what you get. What you smell is what you get. I have no shame in my bodily functions.
Brilliant. It's I just love the stories you had in the book that talked about, marketing, positioning, about products, solving problems and things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, for folks listening, this is a nod to one of the example I use, right? Which is a scent packet. So a little thing that you'd open up and put in the toilet before you go number two to hide others, and I kind of reverse engineer the everything in terms of their positioning and whatnot. Um, I like to use weird examples because I think they tend to be remembered better. And I guess your question is a good testament of that, right? I don't like to use big brands examples that everyone is using to illustrate their stories, like Apple and Harley Davidson and Disney and Tesla, and blah blah. I just hate that. I just can't fucking stand it, actually. So yeah, always try to find weird, tiny, real examples.
Okay. So I wrote a whole bunch of questions down, and the one I want to ask, maybe I'll just kind of rephrase it a bit, which is marketing is a struggle for most. So how do you use data and insights into your marketing efforts? And, does data and marketing go together? Because I think a lot of people see sales and data as that's where data lives. But I think you're kind of saying like maybe no, it's kind of a bit of both rather than marketing as kind of like a concept like, hey, we're going to try some shit. And if it doesn't work, that's our data.
Well, you can't do marketing without data, whether it's data that you have from customer interviews, data from your own intuition. I would classify them as still data of some sort, like your knowledge, past experience. It's still something that you use. So you can't do marketing without data.
Okay. And would you say that like storytelling is like a good way to like do marketing and, it's kind of like an extension of sales?
Um, I mean, storytelling is part of communication. Communication is part of marketing, but it's roughly 8%. So 8% of marketing is down to communication, roughly. And so storytelling is part of that. So it's a tiny percentage. The bigger picture, if we take the distance from it, like marketing is not an art or anything like that. Marketing is really there to help increase the chances that people would buy your stuff. And by increase the chances, we're not talking about 50%. It's like a tiny, minute percentage that we, slightly more likely to be known, to be trusted, to be chosen in the supermarket aisle or whatever else. And or for a salesperson to pick up the call and to pick up the phone and call someone, and that someone would say, "Oh, yeah, I've heard about you." Right? So it's a big discipline, and product is part of it, price is part of it, promotion is part of it, like the traditional 4 Ps. So it's just bigger than communication. And storytelling is such a tiny, it's a tiny part. it's crazy important because that's how you deliver a message that humans will interpret well because they'll understand. They remember it better than normal facts. All of that. So it is a scientific proof, that storytelling is important. But yeah, there's way bigger levers you can pull.
Okay. I guess this is an issue of more of timing. Like, when do you tell the story? It's kind of like, well, when is the user asking for it is the
Well, at the
appropriate
end,
time.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you reach out to people once you have all the foundations covered. So in the book, we talk about insight foraging, which is essentially how to gather the right insight, the right data in order to build upon and create then a unique positioning, which is essentially the way to offer a compelling reason for a specific group of people to pick you over direct competitors or indirect competitors, right? So that gives you this kind of line in the sand, that gives you this flag in the ground that says this is who we are, this is what we're for. And then once you have that, you can build a distinctive brand, which is the more or less like rational part of marketing, which is about being, how do you get noticed, how do you get remembered? And you need both, right? You need a unique positioning so that you give like rational compelling reasons, but you also need the distinctiveness, which is there to make people notice you, for reasons that are quite frankly sometimes just weird, but that's the point. So and then once you have that, you want to reach as many of those people as possible within your means, including uh, telling stories and reaching people through ads or search engine and finding your affiliate website and stuff like that.
Okay. I've spent most of my career in the iGaming space, which is known as kind of like a wealthy industry. And there's a lot of similar industries like the finance, personal finance space, where there's a lot of money involved.
Mm,
And in my LinkedIn post, I talked about like, why is, I don't want to kind of accuse everyone of being shit, but I'm like, why is everyone shit at marketing in an industry when there's so much money? And I think my answer is because they have money to just burn and throw at the problem and think that it's part of the solution, but no one's thinking about, can I do this with a fraction of the budget? Or can I take a budget and make it a 10x?
yeah. So it's I think there's a bit of that. I would agree, right? Where like if you have money, you just use it all. Like if you have a specific budget, you're gonna use it all, and you can do tests and stuff like that. So that's I would agree with that. I think the second part though is um I used to think like this as well. Especially like early in my career, where I would judge people's or brands' marketing and always feel like they're bad. Um, However, what is bad for us because we think about those things a lot might not be bad for real, right? Like they must be doing something right if they're that big and generating that much money. So their marketing, not just their communication, must be right. So yeah, maybe they communicate, maybe there's like shitty ads, generic ads that sound like everyone else's, but maybe that's all they need in order to stay top of mind. People still notice them slightly, and therefore slightly increases the chance that they pick them over someone else. So I think there's nuance there. And the other part is the market share. So there are forces at play that are much, much, much bigger than any creative campaign and the effect it could have on people. One of the biggest levers is market share. So, in any category, the more a brand will have a high market share, the more loyal their customers will be, the less churn they will have, and the more smaller brands will lose customers to them. And that's just a force that exists in any market, any across any decades, anything that's been proven time and time again in any industry. And so, as a small brand, you are way, way like you're against the current. You're swimming against the current. And so, a big iGaming company, like with maybe number one market share, don't have to do as much to remain where they are because the force is like the wind is pushing them while anyone else has to play catch up. So I think that's also explains it, right? Like especially the bigger companies, like massive companies, tend to have these advantages that they just surf on. And yeah, if they don't do something good for a while, it might not be as big of a deal as an incumbent who's trying to catch up.
Yeah, because I see some of these companies, like ones that are at the top, you're right, they don't have to do as much. Like they're kind of like a little bit of extra fuel makes them just go a bit further. But then there's
Yeah.
other companies which they're giants. They clearly have the money. They're making it, but you can kind of look at them and go, I think they're just wasting a lot of money and just it's kind of like a playbook like pay to play. So I'll give a quick example. It's like at these conferences, it's the same booths over and over again. It's kind of like they're not inspirational. They don't make you talk about them. Sometimes you go up to the stands and you start asking questions, and you got people that just don't care, or you got like, the pretty girls that just kind of like listen to you and they put you in contact with someone. But it's almost like there's no care. Like there are some people that I think go out of their way to, try to make an impact and actually measure the effectiveness of it. But we hear stories of like, why are these people here if they're just basically walking around and talking with their friends, not doing anything, no strategy, like, you must see this over and over again as a marketing person.
Yeah, but again, it's like it's part of a bigger. I think it's part of a bigger grand strategy for them, which is distinctiveness, reach, making sure that people see them. So even though they might not have a grand, unique idea, and their booths look like everyone else's, the fact that they invest in that event and maybe 100 other events reaching the same people, plus paid ads, plus influencer, plus all the other stuff means that the sum of it all is moving the needle. And the issue then is, yeah, if you isolate one particular thing, yeah, it might be shit, but it's extremely difficult to. You can't really remove a specific portion of the sum of it all because everything is interconnects with each other, right? So as I said at the start, right, like it's your aim as a big brand is to just raise the chances that someone will ever buy from you, and I think that's what they're doing. Even though, yeah, if you isolate everything, it makes no sense, but together, this huge momentum that they keep investing in helps them remaining where they are market share wise and stuff. And it clearly must be right in some way, or else they wouldn't throw that all that money.
Yeah.
So I've changed my tune a bit on this, right? Like I used to be extremely like, those stupid ads on TV, they don't even share an offer. Like they just put their logo after the weather. And now I've realized that, I was a bit short sighted because again, sometimes it's just about being seen. It's just about the logo is there, the logo is there, the logo is there. And in 3 years' time, when you have to pick between two brands to buy a fucking dishwasher, you're gonna pick the one that you've seen more because you trust that more. That's also a fundamental principle in how humans perceive the world. Like the more we see something, the more we trust it. The more we trust it, the more we're likely to remember it. Blah blah. Blah. So again, it doesn't have for big brands in particular you don't have to be that creative. You just have to be fucking clear. Repeat your message over and over again. Clear logo, clear distinctive brand assets. So color, yeah, logo, mascot, sound, stuff like that. Like McDonald's, like those massive brands, they can get away with that. Now the question is, as a smaller company, as a smaller brand in a big market with almost no market share, you can't do that. So what do you do, right?
Maybe it's a mix of like, social media or, I kind of think like, using the deep seek as an analogy. Like they wanted to compete against OpenAI, but they had a fraction of the budget. And it's like, how
Mm.
do you get creative? And their creativity kind of allowed them to do engineering in a different way. And I kind of think marketing could be the same. Like we have almost no budget for marketing as a startup that we're bootstrapped. We raised a bit of money to get off the ground, but like we don't really have a big budget for marketing. So everything we do is like kind of free. Like we do a podcast, spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. We attend conferences, which is our marketing budget, but we don't really have a booth because we just think it's very expensive, at least for us and in relation to our revenue. So yeah, that's our short story.
Yeah. So it's free money wise, but resources invested to spend time on LinkedIn and doing things right and doing this podcast and whatever is it's all costs at the end of the day, right? So it's all resources. So yeah, it's first of all, like if you have a strong, unique positioning, meaning you're able to say, we are the only one in that category that solves those problems for that specific group of people that alternatives can't do or don't do well, you are giving people a compelling reason to pick you. against other alternatives.
Yeah.
So once you have that, that's already a big part of your marketing because, in fact, some companies only need this because they're just in the right place. They don't need to do like communicating about stuff to just get found. People understand quickly who they are, giving them a compelling reason to pick them. Boom, job done. So that is super important. And then yeah, you do need some sort of a, especially as a small bootstrap brand, you do need to like really up the ante when it comes to the distinctive part. So again, that's just the way humans are. We remember things better if it touches different part of our brain. So the visual part of it, but also the like sound, also smells, anything like that. So neurodiverse distinctive assets work really well. This is why mascots work really well, like anything that is a character. And then you want to be consistent with that. So you need to pick something that just stands the fuck out in one way, shape, or form, right? That just is distinctive in the category you're in, and then doubling down on that. And then, yeah, keep preaching those people, like conferences, whatever else, and just continuously reach them. Uh, there is no other playbook. There's no secret. There's no other hacks. There is nothing of the sort. It's just a grind. It takes a while.
I appreciate that. I'm going to pivot into talking about some of your concepts in marketing and positioning, apply it to affiliate marketing itself. So, what do you think
Yeah.
about affiliate marketing today when you see these affiliate sites and they have their content and they've got the calls to action to click? And it just seems like, the old playbook was you build content sites, you rank them in Google, Google gives you the traffic and you make money. But I think Google's starting to mess things up with search results today, and I think there's been a lot of soulless affiliate sites out there. So I'm just kind of want to get your take on what do you think affiliate marketing needs today for innovation, ideas, and disruption?
So I was in London last week to speak at an event, and Rand Fishkin was also talking, and he was sharing a few data points about Google and how they're still very much the big search engine. They are not losing market share, contrary to LinkedIn Bros would say. The big thing though is that they keep more of the traffic for themselves with the AI overview and stuff like that, and they give traffic to big brands, bigger and bigger. So it comes back to what I was saying earlier. They tend to favor more and more trusted brands, trusted sites because people click more on them because they know them, because they've seen them over and over again. So the same thing is happening. There's a huge concentration of traffic going to big brands. So this is a trend that is just gonna keep going, meaning that there is no such thing as free traffic. There's no such thing as taking for granted any sources of traffic. You're gonna have to play the game of every platform. So Google doesn't want you to actually go anywhere anymore. LinkedIn doesn't want you to go anywhere. Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it's called nowadays, they don't want you to go anywhere. Um, so you're gonna have to play the game. Now, if we take distance from that and just think about an affiliate website in particular, making money through like people clicking and then maybe 5% buy something and then you take a commission on that. Well, is your affiliate site in a unique position? Meaning, are you able to say we are the only one in that category of affiliate website or in the casino industry or whatever to offer to solve this particular problem for this group of people? That alternatives could be other affiliate website, but also anything else um, can't offer. And if you're not able to do that, then you already don't have foundations. And so, if you don't have foundations, everything might crumble. Um, because affiliate website is just a way to deliver that, but that value, which hopefully should be there, meaning you're solving problems that others don't. But it could be anything, right? You essentially with a unique positioning, you need to be in a position to say, even if Google stops sending traffic to us, we'll be fine because we are actually valuable, and so therefore we'll find new ways to reach people. Um, but a lot of stuff that I've seen in the affiliate industry for a while is based on hacks and quick fixes or quick like trends that come and go. Um, so it's always something to be very careful of. Without foundations, things might crumble.
Yeah. You actually answered part of my next question, which is like, I don't really see people combining the concept of affiliate marketing websites with positioning. Like everything you just said about positioning, it's like, well, why is your site special? And if you're just another site and you're one of, let's say, 100 or 1,000 of them, I mean, it's no wonder why Google's going to actually make smarter decisions of how
Yep.
they're going to actually literally position you in their search engine. So, yeah, it's like I haven't seen anyone talk about this topic before, positioning and affiliate marketing. And I wanted to give an
But like, why
example of,
not?
yeah,
You know, like, sorry to cut you, but like, it's. I think it's the classic case of focusing on a particular way to see this thing that people are doing. So they are doing affiliate websites and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's always the same thing. It's serving people with stuff of value that they are happy to give money to you for, and hopefully they remember you. Hopefully talk about you to others. I mean, it doesn't change anything. That this one way to deliver that is through a website, making money through affiliate stuff. So yeah, it's just crazy to me. I understand why, right? Like, if you
yeah,
think about it, it's super easy to create an affiliate website. I mean, that's the point, right? The barrier to entry is the lowest of the low. Anyone with an internet and a brain, with internet and a brain can create an affiliate website in the next 30 minutes. It's super easy to grab affiliate codes from any like Bluehost and GoDaddy and whatever. It's super easy. It's super easy to create a website. I mean, what is there that you do that no one else can claim to be doing with just that, with such a low barrier to entry? So yeah, it's I think the days of doing that and getting money is over because yeah, Google doesn't like sending traffic to places where people are disappointed after. So what to
yeah.
do?
I agree. I think there's actually a lot of affiliates that not only are they losing their revenue and search traffic that they were used to getting, I think they're actually kind of frozen. Like they're kind of like, I need more SEO to get out of it. And I think
Mm,
they think SEO is the answer, but I think everything else on the other side is actually part of the answer. Like I think if you're a really good SEO, you'd actually start asking the questions that you're asking, which is like, what are we doing about positioning and why are we even existing?
yeah, because I was listening to your previous episodes. I'm not gonna remember the person who you interviewed, but he was saying at the start, like treat like you should treat your affiliate website like a business. Yeah, you should absolutely. I mean, it is, and it's not because it's so easy to do and put up that you can't take it seriously. So I think a lot of folks in that space do see probably that as a game almost, like it's a cat and mouse game, right? It's like trying to find the little loopholes that Google like hasn't covered yet and trying to make money this way. There's a bit of that, right? So you can't be smarter than a multi-billion dollar company, and so I don't think you should be. Instead, use your smarts to serve people in ways that haven't been done before. So one of the key stuff, again, talking about Rand Fishkin's talk last week, one of the key stuff that is important is traffic doesn't mean influence. And it's not because 90% of your traffic comes from Google that this is you should need to spend 90% of your resources. Because a lot of people research for your brand name because they've heard from you from other places. So you have social media, you have the influencer, you have TV, radio, you have such an ecosystem of stuff. So if I was an affiliate marketer having a bunch of websites with just basic links and nothing else, I would just think about which one is working the best. Let's get to know customers, those people who buy from me. Let's interview them or let's spend a day with them. Let's gather these 6 insights I cover in the book. So, what is the job that they have? What is the not the job in terms of position, but what is the goal that they want to achieve? What are the alternatives that they might consider? What are the struggles that they struggle with right now with those alternatives? What information can you gather about the segment they're part of? And what triggers compel them to act. So those are the 6 basic insights. If you know the answers to those things, then you can reverse engineer a unique positioning. And it might take more than just a bunch of links on the website. You might have to do something that is different. But it's not about you, right? It's always about the customer. So you need to start, I think, using those neurons that you use to try to hack Google to understand people, serve them something of value, and you won't worry that much anymore about Google taking your lunch.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because like I've been in the affiliate marketing space a long time. We're a SaaS company now catering to affiliates. And in the SaaS space, it's kind of like you would try to interview your customers and get to know them. So you would do these surveys, but yeah, I can't recall a time when I've been on the buyer side on an affiliate site and going, when are they asking me stuff? And
Yeah.
also, they're not always collecting my email. And if they are, that's great. But when they do, it's only sell, sell, sell. It's not like, can we have a conversation? Can I ask you something? Can I ask you insights? And who cares if they're actually going to put this into their CRM and use it to better market to me? I just don't think they're doing it, but I know there's tools that actually exist for this purpose.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways you can get insight. So you don't have to interview people. You don't have to talk to people directly. There's plenty of ways. So you can do custom interviews, but you can also do surveys. You can also do review mining, right? Which is quite helpful, especially in online space. You can like mine reviews from direct competitors and identify the 6 insights I shared earlier, right? You can go inside communities where your customer hang out, whether it's online or offline, and just listen and have conversations and understand them at a deeper level. You can be a fly on the wall as well, meaning you're literally, um, if you have the chance to spend time with customers in a setting where they just work or they whatever, you can be a fly on the wall and just understand what's going on. You can do method marketing. You can use meaning like method acting. You'd use the products or to try to have empathy for folks using it. Like there's plenty of ways, but the key is always the same. Like you need to find out what is the goal that they're trying to achieve, what is the alternative they're actually looking into, what are they struggling with related to those alternatives, why can't they get the job done, right? What is stopping them to get where they want to be? What's the category? How do they call what you do, and what are the trigger events, right? With that, you have such a strong foundation that enables you then to play and have fun with. But if you don't have this information, like it's again, there's no foundation. Therefore, it's a house of cards, and every time the wind blows a bit faster, like Google changed the algorithm and whatever, then you struggle. So yeah, you do need very strong foundation nowadays, and the barrier to entry to pretty much everything online related to affiliate or not is getting lower and lower, right? Creating images, you don't need a designer anymore. Writing copy, you don't need a copywriter anymore. I mean, uh, not necessarily good copy, but you don't need that necessarily. Um, all of that is going away as an advantage. The only thing that is left is the real truth, the real foundation of marketing. Like actually doing something worth doing for a group of people who care about that thing and being remembered, being trusted, and all of that. That's the only thing you have left. Everything else is automated, done by AI and shit like that. So it's back to fundamentals.
So next question I've got is sometimes I like to ask self-serving questions because sometimes our situation helps either other SaaS companies or sometimes the
Sure.
ideas are clonable to affiliate marketing. So here's our situation: we're a SaaS company. We think we're a useful tool for our potential affiliates. We believe our users are problem aware but not solution aware. And just wondering, like when you hear these things, if you were to deal with a SaaS company,
Mm.
how do you help the situation? I think marketing is part of the answer, but what do you
No,
think?
but let's go specific, right? I mean, how long do we have?
We got like at least half hour.
Okay, so let's let me not give you a fucking generic answer. Let's dive deeper, right? So the first of all, problem aware, solution aware, I hate those phrases. It's not because we can name things and explain them that they are right. I I just don't connect with this way of thinking because it's not as clear cut. It's not as linear. It's not as at first I'm problem aware. I have a problem with this. Then now I'm looking for solution. It just doesn't happen organically this way. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of it, and particularly the first phase of that system of that framework, which is problem unaware. Please, please try to find someone who's problem unaware, who has there is a big problem, but they're not aware of it in a B2B setting or whatever. Like if it's a big problem, they know about it. Like it's
Yeah.
just anyway. That's one thing. So how how to grow this, right? How to grow this brand? So you're saying affiliate marketers. That's the first thing I would double down on. Okay, Why would they use your service? Like, what's the goal?
Yeah.
that they have.
The goals that we do is like we help them get all their data, like all their traffic and revenue data from their affiliate programs. So if you try doing this yourself, you're like, it's just not standard. And when you actually search for that as a concept, you don't really
Mm,
find us. You find like four different
mm,
types of affiliate marketing products. So they kind of want their data, but they don't understand the benefits of like using a tool like ours to record the data and have it
mm.
daily and automated. So we don't really always push how much time it can save them.
Okay. So just so that I remember, I understand correctly. So you would aggregate data from all the different affiliate platforms.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
like
So
everything, like their account, brand data, campaign data, and even click ID data if they have dynamic
okay.
variables for like really deep stuff.
So let's say, for example, I don't know, I am an affiliate website, like casino affiliate website, and one of them I send directly to the affiliate program. Another one is through a third party that manages the affiliate. So you aggregate everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Okay. Okay. So the big alarm bell that I hear, um, if we think about the 16th site, is the category, meaning what is the thing that you offer? What's the name of it? And is it in demand? Is it something that people already search for?
Yeah.
The problem that I hear is the fact that, yes, there might very well be a job to be done for people, meaning like they want to aggregate their data. There might very well be a clear alternative, which is doing that manually. Might very well be struggle when it comes to, well, they want to stop wasting their time doing it. They want to uh, feel good about their business, feel like they have control of it. They can see everything at once. Uh, you have a clear segment like affiliate marketers. We can go deeper, but it's mainly like probably affiliate marketers who are like professional affiliate marketers who do that day in and day out, who have lots of different tools connected. Okay. Now the problem is the category that you're mentioning, you need to like quote unquote educate the market, right? You need to
Yes.
like move them from problem aware, solution aware. That's one of the hardest things to do.
Okay.
And that's typically one of the biggest hurdle that folks trying to have a unique positioning struggle with, is that they are not able to place themselves in a category that is clear, that is
Yeah.
in demand, in order to serve the wave that already exists. You cannot generate demand from scratch. You have to lean on something that exists, whether it's like struggles that a lot of people have in common that are desperate for a solution, or whether a category that is like, something that is trendy that people are
Yeah.
searching for. So you can't generate demand from scratch. So the problem is like, it's like, w- how would you define in a few words the software? Like, what's the category if you had to place it somewhere?
Ooh, category. I call it affiliate stats, and I sometimes will describe to people. I say we're like the QuickBooks for affiliates. We get all of your
Mm,
data.
okay. So yeah, like to me, I would zero in on that. That the big because you don't have a lot of folks searching for that right on Google, let's say,
Correct.
right? You
It's
don't.
we got a lot of brand search, but that's from years of building the brand. So people are
Mhm.
searching for us. We have that, and we want more of it.
Yeah, and so that's the problem, because you are working really hard to educate the market, right? To make sure that they know you exist, to make sure to understand they have a problem, to make sure they understand that there's a solution out there, and then yeah, you get branded search back. But that sounds like swimming against the current a lot. It sounds like a
Yeah,
lot of effort, right?
it's tough.
So yeah, I can empathize with that. I used to have a marketing agency, pretty much making the same mistake. I'm going to call it a mistake just for the sake of it. Again, I don't know your business inside out and whatever, but just from an outside perspective, that's how I perceive. Like I used to try to sell conversion rate optimization services to companies in Dublin, Ireland, who had no clue about what CRO was. The category was not in demand. And even though they had a problem, they didn't see it the same way. Meaning, like their problem wasn't we need to convert more traffic. Their problem in their head was always we need more traffic, right? So I was desperate to try to like argue and educate them about no, 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 that's not really a problem. That's very tiring, right? And I burnt out within a year and a half, right? So obviously I don't want that to happen. So my typically, so I've a very pragmatic approach nowadays from this lesson and others. So I always try to lean on something that exists that is in demand. Then you can always introduce them to more. So like
Okay.
it's like the Trojan horse. So first you give them what they think they need, and then you give them what they actually need. So if you think that they actually need affiliate stats aggregation, but no one's searching for that, then what can you give them that they actually need, right? So I would use like a two-part strategy like this, right? Where you need to find something that is currently in demand for affiliate marketers.
Yeah.
And the aggregation is almost the cherry on top, just the
Yeah.
thing you introduce later. But you use the first one as a way to channel that demand.
Yeah.
Um, if you don't do this, because you're bootstrapping, you don't have a lot of resources. It takes so much time and money to educate a market. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do. People don't care about you. You need to reach a lot of people. You need to repeat the same message. You need to make them understand. It's an incredibly difficult endeavor, if not impossible, for companies of your size. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to find a way to channel demand in some way, shape, or form. Um, and so we can find that out now if you want.
Yeah. Let me give you a bit of background of some of the stuff we've been working on and what we think we've learned. So
Yeah.
we have stats, and it's like you said, it's almost like let's assume that's like the bare bones minimum. Like you're getting this as a service. It's like, of course, we get our stats. All right. Next.
Exactly.
Um,
Of course, you get the stats. Yeah,
There
that's
are
the
more
way.
people looking for CRM, but no one's actually
Uh,
created, in my mind, a CRM product for affiliates. So, like, what would a CRM be? Well, who are my affiliate managers? What are my deals? We actually have those two. Invoices, like, can I manage them? We actually have an invoice generator. So we have a
yeah. So you're not that. You're
yeah,
definitely not. Sorry to cut you, but that's when it is interesting to me. CRM is a category that is in demand. Now it's a big category that's you belong into a subcategory of that, but there's demand there.
yeah,
People know what CRM is, right? People
mhm,
do CRM on Google Sheet, Excel, paper. They do it already. So there is something that they're already currently doing in order to manage their contacts, their deals, or whatever. So you're not trying to like make them do something they haven't done before. You're not trying to like do any of that. So that's already way, way, way more interesting to me.
okay,
Um, now, so that's the big category. There might be a more specific category than just CRM, but yeah, I would agree that if you talk about invoicing, if you talk about managing deals, and then also some stats, that's if a dog, if an animal has a long neck and fucking yellow with brown patches on top, it's a giraffe, right? So it's like, what is the most clear, compelling, in-demand category that you would belong to, that you can place yourself in? I would argue from what you just said, yeah, CRM seems like the obvious one.
yeah,
Now, it's a big category, but
yeah.
yeah.
And a couple more things. So another thing that people want as affiliates is they want to be very advanced with their analytics. They want business intelligence, but they also don't know
Right.
what it looks like. But
Yeah.
when they get it, they also don't know what to do with it. So we give them like
Mm,
really advanced charts, and it's kind of like there's insights inside of that. And depending
mm,
on who the user is, they're like, I know it's there, but they're not really spending time on it. So
mm,
they want education. We've had a lot of people saying, I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I'm this company over here and we're like 50 places behind the first company. I want everything in my arsenal to get there. But if we make it too expensive, then it's not accessible. So we think there's a demand for it, but the search demand is, if I had to rank this, it'd be CRM has the most searches, even though it's not a lot. Then there's people searching for business intelligence, but we're also, me and my competitors, we're kind of educating the users in this space as a
mm,
differentiator. And then getting the data is kind of like, it's almost like an afterthought. Like, of course, you get your data. If you need business intelligence, you expect to get your data. Like, you're already past that point.
yeah. But what triggers me, or what I'm thinking about as soon as you said that, like, people want, they tell us they want like the complex data, the visualization, the whatever, but then they don't fucking know what to do with it. It's like they like the idea of it.
Yeah.
They don't like the actual thing. So yeah, of course, when you ask them, would you like more advanced data? Oh yeah, sure. But like, so then it goes back to the struggle. So let's park the category for a second.
Okay.
The reason why niching down, and the reason why it's so important to like really have a segment that is very specific, um, is that the more you solve a painful problem that a specific group of people have that alternatives do not, the more likely you are to gain market share, to gain customer, because
Yeah.
you're giving them a very strong, compelling reason to pick you over a big CRM that is well
Yeah.
known, over just using Google Sheets. So the pull, the attraction, the gravitational force that comes to you is stronger when you are able to identify big problems that are completely underlooked and undersolved by any alternatives. So the fact that you already have like a subset of people like affiliate marketers is helpful, because then we can think about, okay, why why are they struggling to get the job done? And to me would be like become number one or something along those line, like, right, to
Yeah.
grow, to grow their ranking, right? So
Yeah.
what's in the way, right? What's getting in the way?
Yeah. And actually, I think there's
I'm
something.
asking you.
Oh, what's getting in the way of that? Well, I'm
So
good at.
what's yeah.
Yeah, I
Before
get.
they use you, right? Before they become a power user and they have everything they need, whatever. But like, let's forget about that. Let's think about your best customer, like the ones that you can imagine in your head, like
Yeah.
the ones that are spending loads and happy, whatever. Before they wanted to do this, they wanted to reach number one spot. Just to
Yeah.
summarize, what prevented them from going there?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think one of the answers, and it's kind of like, why did we create this app in the first place? I think it has to do with my experience of identifying this concept of revenue leak. Like, how do you lose money as an affiliate? So it's either stopping losing money or knowing that you can find it, or the opposite, which is optimizing. Like, you have a campaign that's doing amazing. You send more traffic to it and you're going to get more money. Obvious. Well, the same
Right.
happens in opposite when you've got a campaign that was doing well, but actually is trending off. And if you're going to send more traffic to it, you're wasting money. So examples of
Yes.
how you can lose money in affiliate marketing is if a program changes the tracking link tech and you don't know this and it just getting zeros, sometimes in a table of data, you can't see this. Even if you use our app, it's not visible. So we need tools that kind of are done for you as a service and do that. And so to give you one more weird example of something we might have tapped into, and this is literally a week ago. So I did a poll all over communities plus my LinkedIn. I said, this is a thing in, especially in the gambling space. There's a concept called shaving, which is affiliate programs that kind of find clever ways, either intentional or accidental, of deleting commissions. And there's a lot of ways that can happen. So I did the poll and I had probably like something like 150 affiliates. Like almost all of them are saying yes. They're not saying no, this isn't happening. I'm like, how do you think you've experienced shaving at least once? And it's just like 100% across the board. So it's almost like a trigger point. Yeah, we built a product that's actually using our app that exports the data into Excel sheet. And we're like, these are all the changes that have happened before and after. So we just showed this to a very big company that actually does their stats in house. They're like, we hadn't even thought of this idea and we want this. So to give you another story, the guy on our team, Joe Hatch, who actually was working on this, he actually did this for one of our customers and he found 150,000 euros in lost revenue that he recovered for their company. So
Okay.
that's a substantial amount of money.
Okay. So that's very interesting, right? Again, this is why it's important to have like, when you ask yourself or others good questions, you get good answers, and then you get insight, and those
Yeah.
insight can be super useful. So struggle is avoid losing. We could phrase it like avoid losing money you don't know you're losing, in a sense,
Yeah.
right? It's like this idea of control, this idea of feeling like you you've got everything, yeah, under control. You know what's going on. You're not losing any money. Like loss aversion is much stronger than
Yeah.
the opposite, right? The fear of losing money is a strong incentive. So then what I was thinking about is, okay, CRM, we talked about that as a category, but are there uh, companies that do that for other industries, right? There
Uh,
is, right? Like there
yeah.
is
Yes.
any SaaS company, you have like the charge B or whatever, where the delinquent churn or whatever it's
Churns.
called, like,
Yeah.
right, stuff like that. So it's like they identify customers who a credit card has failed, and then they would recharge them. They would message them, so they recover potentially lost revenue. The reason why I mentioned that is because if it already exists somewhere else, then there must be something that they're doing right.
Yeah.
Are they able to capture demand for that, or are they using a Trojan horse to do it? Well, Stripe has it. Stripe has a revenue recovering service, but Stripe is much bigger, right? So you can see how I, I mean, again, I'm just guessing, but it feels like you could use the CRM part because it's the highest demand as the core category,
Yeah.
but you can say we are the only CRM for affiliates that identify lost revenue and let you know about it.
Yeah.
Blah blah. I think there's something there, right? So
Okay.
it's like it's a CRM, so people understand what it is, right? They can visualize it, but it also has this. It's again, it's the Trojan horse. It's what they think they need, and then what they actually need. Because if as the that category of revenue, let me
Leak.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking my Stripe account. I just want to see how they talk about it. Again, that's something I do all the time, right?
Yeah.
Just to reverse engineer with our conversation. I'm not trying to be too smart. I'm not trying to be fancy, reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
extremely pragmatic.
No, it's
What
cool
are the
because
things,
yeah.
right?
I study a lot of those SaaS companies as well, like ChargeBee, Stripe, Profitwell that was acquired by Paddle. Like they give you your
Exactly. Yes.
analytics for
Exactly.
free, and then they upsell
Right.
you with consulting.
So you see, it's I mean that what we talked about there, the Trojan horse. You can see it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just you start with what people think they need, or I need stat about my SaaS, and then you give them what they actually need, which is like deeper analysis of their pricing model and whatever. Um, so actually, you said Profitwell, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the
Profitwell.
name of the software?
Which one?
The one that the revenue recovering one. What's the
Stripe.
charge B? There's charge B
ChargeBee,
as well.
Stripe does it. There's a lot of other analytics tools for SaaS, like I'm mixing up all the names. Like CapChase does it. Founder
Mm,
Path. They give you
yeah,
analytics for free, and then they basically upsell you a service.
yeah. So like charge B, their particular feature would say recover failed payments and increase customer lifetime value. Now it's
Yeah,
not exactly what you say, what you do, and they
close.
offer more, but uh, they call it their tool. They call it a revenue growth management. So clearly, they're
Yeah,
struggling with that category, right? It's just becoming a bit fuzzy, too big. So
yeah,
anyway, go back to you. Like, yeah, if the core ignored struggle is the fact that I want to make sure I get all my money worth of all my work, that I don't get fucked over by affiliate programs or whatever through
yeah,
shaving and whatever, then then that's a very interesting thing. But again, it's not something they're aware of necessarily, right?
yeah,
So then it's like, okay, if they're not aware of that, that's what we can lead with once they are in. But before they are in, what do we lead with? What is the thing that is the most in demand? Um, and yeah, CRM is the one that we've doubled down on, that we talked about for the last few minutes, but there might be something else, right?
yeah,
So it's like, based on all the features you have, based on all the things you do, what is the best way to categorize that, right?
yeah.
What is the best way to categorize what you do?
Yeah, I think CRM could be the home, like the thing that people can kind of like when they hear an affiliate CRM, they're like, I think I've got an idea of what it is. And I think they're
Yeah,
more curious to walk in the door rather than affiliate stats aggregation. That's a mouthful. No one's searching for it. And the ones that are searching for it, we're still gonna rank for that keyword. That's not a problem.
exactly.
But it's not a good
It's
position, I
it's
think.
yeah, it's not the beachhead. It's not the core that you're leaning with. Um, like if you don't have direct competitors, you're in trouble as well, right? So I would almost think, is there no CRM just for affiliates ever at all? Like,
I can't find
or
them.
okay.
Like, the
So
ones that actually have them are the very big companies, like, that have actually built this in-house, and we've seen their platforms, they show it to us. It's like this giant backend, and it's got all the brands, all the products, all their tracking links, all their deals, all the user management, and we actually are kind of building out, like, a foundation for this so people can have this without having to invest, like,
that's good.
500,000
So
euros.
that means that big companies that have this problem that feel this problem way more than smaller affiliates
Yes.
have already tried to solve it, right? So that's a good indication that something is going on. If I search for like CRM for affiliates, like an actual direct quote, you do have articles talking about what is the best CRM for affiliate marketing, but they
Yeah,
basically give you normal CRMs like Pipedrive, Zoho,
exactly.
whatever. So again, that's interesting. That means you might have identified a subgroup, a niche, a segment, whatever you want to call it, that have problems that are not solved by any of those. Meaning, like, if you go through Pipedrive, it's not going to tell you this is how much you've lost through shaving. So this is textbook definition of unique positioning. You're able to say this is an ignore struggle, meaning it's a painful thing that affiliate marketers are struggling with that others are not solving, and that's their foundation then,
Yeah.
that you can build on.
Quick question. If you were in my position, would you offer a freemium service to at least make it easy for people to walk in the door?
I don't know. It depends on so many things. Again, it's like I would tend to say yes because the affiliate marketers tend to be very like tech savvy and they want to see things for themselves and play with them and see how it works, right? So, but how to do that? I'm not a specialist in product led growth or whatever the fancy terms are being used right now.
Yeah. PLG.
So yeah, whatever. Uh, potato, right? It's all the same thing. Just reinventing the wheel every few years. But yeah, if you go back to the core of it, affiliate marketers are more tech savvy than the average. They probably are difficult to bullshit, right? Are like
Yeah.
very prone to like they can spot a shady deal from a long time away. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it would be obvious to I want to see how it looks like, how it feels, and then I can pay for it. So yeah, sounds like a good plan to start with.
Amazing. So, last question. What do you see of the future of affiliate marketing as it intersects with business intelligence?
Well, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
It's like the future. I mean, I'm never really keen in those trendy. What's the future of X, Y, and Z? As you can tell, I try to look at the past more, which are like with pragmatism, right? What are the things that have happened, and how can we lean on things that are already there to move forward? So I'm not very good at predictions.
Yeah.
All I can say is, yeah, like if you don't have strong foundations, if you don't do the inside foraging part, if you don't do the unique positioning part in particular, you're not going to be able to face the future. But we don't really know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. I think the what you said and practiced and preached is try stuff. I mean, that's the heart of conversion rate optimization right there.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Louis, thank you so much for doing this. Want to pass it back to you. How can people get a hold of you? And of course, you can tell us the best way of buying your book.
Yeah, thanks. Just Google search wherever stand the fuck out and you'll find it. Um, if you want the basic stuff, you can go to Amazon. You can buy the paperback, hardcover, Kindle if you want to. I'm happy with that. If you're extra generous and if you feel like that conversation was helpful, you can also get it on my website where there's things that you can't get anywhere else. It's obviously more expensive, but it's also there to support the business. So if it's easier through Amazon, you can buy it on Amazon.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to the Affiliate BI podcast. I'd like to take this time to ask for a small favor to leave a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. That helps us expand our reach to rank higher in podcast directories and reach more listeners.